Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining everybody for another Tuesday discussion. Today we are talking about recent bottle kills. Been a theme of the year. Ultimately, one of the goals for the year is no floor whiskey in 2024. Be in that goal with me. Let's get rid of some bottles. Let's clear out the herd a little bit, make room for the new recruits. So I've got 6 bottles to highlight today. Give final thoughts on these brands, on these bottles, how much they were, and if I'd be willing to buy them again. We're going to go through these in order of price, and by the time we get to the end of this video, we're going to get to some hitters, especially on this one. So thank you for joining me today, whiskey friends. Let's kick off the show. All right. First on the list, we've got Starlight. This one was finished in Pinot de Shiraz. I'm pretty sure I said that right. It's usually about a 50-50 chance. But this was a 4-year bourbon finished in the Pinot de Shiraz. And this was a store pick. Came in at 106 proof. Of all the finishes that come out of Starlight, honestly, this is one of my favorites. Now, this is a local store pick. I've still got one that Matt Porter did over at ADHD Whiskey. I think I like that one even better. But this finish in particular, the wine is just so rich and fruity, and it adds so much to the bourbon profile. Oh, man. As I said, one of my favorite finishes coming out of Starlight. Now, with that said, when it comes to Starlight, would I buy another one of these? I don't know. I've got like 6 or 7 open Starlights right now. Essentially, it was like I got real heavy into Starlight, trying all the different finishes, but I really haven't killed many bottles until this one. I think maybe I've killed one other of the Bourbon Junkies picks. They did a port finish one. And I think that's the only other one that I finished. So I've got to thin the herd on Starlight before I buy any other picks, especially considering all of them still just kind of hover around the same age, 4 years, 5 years. But if I were to hear about one that was a big hitter at $65, $70, they're right around that price range, I would probably give in and buy one, but it would take a heavy recommendation only because there's so many on the shelf right now. Next on the list, probably something that gets overlooked, but if you have stores that have this single barrel, do not sleep on them. But we are going to be talking about the barrel bourbon single barrels. Now, allegedly, these are supposedly the 4-year Roses distillate. So the ages on this one, like the one I have in my hand, is 11 years, 104 proof. And most of these do come in. I think they all come in at 104 proof. So you're talking about 104 proof, supposedly for roses, with double-digit age statements a lot of the time. And the price on these ain't too bad, like $65, $70. Really worth taking a chance on if your local store is doing picks of these single barrels. Just kind of note here, these are the Frontier Whiskey single barrels. Bullet has a lot of different labels, so I don't want to steer you wrong there. I've got about 2, maybe 3 of these still on the shelf. As I get through those, if I have the chance to buy another, I will, but not necessarily something I'm rushing to get a backup for, because once again, only so much room and no floor whiskey. Next on the list, been impressed with the finishes I've gotten from this particular company. It's Rye 3. They are blending a bunch of ryes together, typically 3 ryes, and then they're finishing them. So this one is actually a toasted barrel, picked by our friends over there at Whiskey Row. Yep, this one's gone. Cheers, David. Cheers, Jamie. But very, very good rye whiskey, cask strength, good age on it, all that type of thing. I've seen some Madeira finish ones as well that have caught my eye. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. One thing I have been noticing, though, I don't know what it is. At least it's in my area. These have been on discounts too. So I think MSRP is 80. I've seen them as low as 40. So that could be a really good grab if you're seeing them on sale in your area. When you see these type of things on sale, it has nothing to do with how good the whiskey is in the bottle. It just has to do with the name brand and the notoriety and if those bottles move or not. Don't sleep on this one. Rye 3 is a company worth giving a shot if you like ryes. Next on the list, gonna keep on the rye train. And this is a pick that I actually had a hand in picking myself. We got the Hard Truth. This is a single barrel coming from the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. We picked this one, in May 2023. Great experience. Wonderful people over there at Hard Truth. Just makes me appreciate the whiskey even more. And oh my gosh, I cheated. There is actually some left in there. All right, we got to make this official. It's got to be an official bottle kill to be on the bottle kill list. All right, there we go. Get to enjoy a little bit more of Henk and Roscoe's Spiral Cut Sweet Tea. So that was the thing with this single barrel. The barrel that it was aged in was spiral cut to create more surface area and reaction to the, essentially, I guess, the non-charred wood. Totally unique profile. Love it. Love what Hard Truth's doing. Love the fruits that I get on Hard Truth's rye. Most unique rye there is on the market today. Highly recommend, if you can, get your hands on a Hard Truth single barrel. You can check out their website, figure out where they're distributed, if they're distributed by you. Next up on the list. This one, I don't know, torn on how to describe it, I suppose. We're getting up now to $145. That's probably where I'm torn, at least batch to batch. This one was the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series, Batch 8. Now, each of these blends are going to be different. This one was 66% Kentucky at 12 years, 17% Indiana Rye at 7 years, 11% Ontario 100% corn whiskey at 12 years, and then 6% Indiana 6-year rye again. So this is a Boo rye. If you look it up on the website, they also finished this on top of that crazy blend process. It was good. Was it 145 good? I don't know. I actually bought 9. That'll come up in a future video. Skip 10 because I just wasn't willing to spend $145 on it. But then with 11, with all of that supposed wild turkey in it at 13 years, I loved Series 11. So I guess I'm back on the Discovery bandwagon, but it really is batch to batch. Let's see what's in it. Let's hear some reviews. Let's see some initial impressions before I am willing to drop $145 on any blended whiskey. I like them, but there were some. Series 5, Series 6, Series 7 weren't my favorites. Those are the Dickel years. At least we've moved beyond that, and we're getting into some older casts now with this 13-year Wild Turkey. But when it came to the 8, would I buy the 8 again? Probably not. That wasn't my favorite batch of all the ones that I've had on my bar. The last bottle that we're going to highlight today, the biggest bottle, probably one of the bigger bottles in my collection that I have killed so far, but did a video on this one a little bit ago. This one is it's not even going to show up. It's the William LaRue Weller. It's not going to show up in that lighting though. So I'll rotate it like this so you can see the label. This one was the 2019 batch. This is the only WLW I have ever owned, and potentially the only WLW I may own. Got this one in a lottery situation, essentially at MSRP. I am definitely not willing to pay $1,800 for whiskey. It's going to be hard to get me above 200, 300 at the way the market is now. I just don't see the value in doing so. Was this good? Yeah, it was good. Is this the highest scoring thing that I've ever reviewed? No, not necessarily. It's up there. It's top 5. But some other bottles that I've had cost $100, $150, score just as high. There is no point in forcing this thing on the secondary market when it comes to great whiskey. Great whiskey has a way of finding you versus me forcing it to happen. So goodbye to the WLW. I will be making a candle out of this one, I think. Still debating what to do with some of my empties here. Either turn them into candles, turn them into olive oil bottles. Curious what you do with your bottle kills. Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you've killed any bottles recently you want to talk about, and we'll catch you on the next Tuesday discussion. Goodbye, everybody.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again.
Oh, man. If you hung with me through this Hard Truth Rye, it is so gorgeous. Go check out some Hard Truth Rye. Cheers, everybody.